Hello friends, my name is Old Man Cloud. I upload daily gameplay videos of the Bazaar to my YouTube channel. Let's jump into a run. This is one of my first runs with, and certainly my first run on camera with the new Vanessa items, which I unlocked through the prize pass. So interested to see how they work. My impression so far is that they, and mostly this from playing against them, is that it seems to be friend-based.
Good food feeds body.
Heal equal to shield, so we want to buff shield. Seems to be a friend-based item pack. Seems to be relatively weak, to be honest, based on what I've seen so far. Certainly it seems like most people aren't rocking it on the ladder. Admittedly, maybe because most people haven't unlocked it yet. Not everyone is no-lifing this game like I am. But certainly seems like it's a significant nerf to Vanessa to unlock the new cards, I would say, because you dilute your item pool, therefore making the likelihood of builds like weapon spam Vanessa, making them just a bit harder to get online, adding some more items to the pool that don't really benefit your game. But I'm saying this without having really played with them, so who knows, I might form a very different view in a little while. Certainly felt like I got the monkey off my back by getting the previous video recorded and out, which I've done now. And now I believe there's a literal monkey in this pack, so I can have a physical monkey on my back now. Let's stick to a kind of aquatic heal shield merchant. Let's just take a free small shield. That's worked out fairly well. I feel like one of my one of the things I don't do too well in the game is spending too much early. I tend to just buy out the early shops and end up on very low money going into day 2, leading to kind of income problems that compound throughout the game. So instead I'm going to try showing a bit more restraint with the early shops. It's a pretty nasty early dually, but I feel like we match up relatively well and we have scaling heal. I think it's going to come down to timing for the most part. Or maybe they're also scaling pretty nastily. Their scaling might be too strong. Or we might be able to... Yeah, I think it's going to be timing, really. I'm not sure whether them going off there is good or bad. It's probably good if we can get seaweed to go, which we don't, so we lose. We were... one more seaweed fire off winning that, but that's okay. Early matches are pretty much solely RNG, so there's no point getting too upset about it.
If I don't have what you need,
it's the monkey.
you find who does.
When you gain gold, increase the damage bonus of this item by the amount gained. So you're a scaler, and you're a scaler for weapon builds. Do we just pivot? I mean, it just seems so slow, doesn't it? I assume the upgrade reduces its cooldown time and can obviously be very, very strong, especially getting it early like I have here. But late game, you don't want an item that takes 11 seconds to go off. So I guess it's kind of a mid-game item, but I feel like even the mid-game is pretty aggro now with how aggro Vanessa is. So I feel like that's... I'm certainly going to... I will try to find a way to make that work, to make monkey work. But I feel like... having set ourselves up a bit for an aquatic run, now's probably not the time to try it.
You might prefer our dentistry. She's amazing.
Let's fairly high likelihood that we pick up a poison item down the line. Maybe even now? No, a weapon. You would have been good with monkey. I don't think we beat Rogue Scrapper, so let's go after Covetous. I think we beat Covetous, even with his scaling. So yeah, the new Vanessa items, from what I've seen, and again, I've only just had a quick look at them and from playing against them, seems like they don't have much aquatic synergy, if at all. Seems like they are trying to create a new friend archetype for Vanessa. But certainly haven't seen it on the ladder at all. I do wonder whether the monkey could work in a... It seems to have some synergy with flagship, for example. Sticking a flagship build as the friend. scale the flagship's damage, which has a really nice effect. Maybe that's a way of getting it in the game. Let's try to take another fight if we can. We can't.
My food?
Let's get some more shield on our Pearl. No reason to sell out yet. I only have 11 subscribers. In a little bit. Once the sponsors come calling, then we're talking.
Are you sure? Have you noticed I'm huge?
Healing piggy. Freezing piggy. That's such a strong, I assume, enchanted start. But we're putting on some decent shield. It's going to be another timing one. We're going to go into the sandstorm with considerably more health. But they have these chunky, or at least the money trees, a very chunky heal. And they have defense grid coming online. We should be okay, but I feel like if we get unlucky with timing, this might be rough. We are scaling very nicely with our barrel, so we should be fine. Especially that was perfect timing for us with the tree. So good to get an early win. Hopefully we see some of the new items. Always fun when new items are added, especially to Vanessa, which is my favourite class in the game. At the moment, not interested in Katana. Let's have a look at what aquatic items we have here. Lots of items pulling us in the weapons direction here. Maybe we should have held on to the monkey. Submersible is great, but we don't have a large item to match with it, and don't have a vehicle. I think we just roll. Here's some good stuff. So let's sell out now. And let's commit to not going weapons, even though we got some nice stuff for it. So pick up dock lines and beach ball. And probably put dock lines next to barrel now. Spent a bit of money, so let's just take the shield and hope that means we can fight the eccentric aetheryte, whereas we may not have been able to otherwise. We don't have a way of getting rid of the shield, which is going to be a real issue, but we do slow and we scale our own shield. This may have been a mistake. They're going to start... Certainly this eccentric aetheryte is beatable even when you can't get rid of her shield. But she does start doing an awful lot of damage, so I'm definitely having regrets here. It's going to be tight. It's going to be another one that's down to timing potentially. She's going to get one more hit in with the force field, maybe 2 more hits. Don't think we can survive another one. Oh, yeah, we just survived another one. So a fortunate win, and I think we would have lost that if we didn't have the shield. So getting the temporary shield there actually worked out. And the gold scrap is fine. On our little pearl that could. Anything we want to transform? Not really. Not looking for weapons at the moment. Skills I am looking for.
Have great potential. Let me train.
Sure, let's commit further to poison. We're looking like the type of build that will be playing poison sooner rather than later. Barrel upgrades really nicely, but so does seaweed. And seaweed has longer term prospects, so let's get seaweed to silver. Beach ball, maybe a decent upgrade as well.
Go ahead. Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
I think I often try to
I'm a bit of a legend on
have an early game build that goes into the late game, but you don't need to. You can just have an early game build that's good in the early game and then figure out what you're doing later on. Should match up pretty well against weapons, Vanessa. That's part of the reason to go this shield healing aquatic build early on. They have shark claws for scaling, but they're only bronze. So I think we should be okay here. I feel the meta's been taken over a bit by weapons, Vanessa, and kind of bursty, aggressive decks. And that's forcing Mac out of the meta a bit. So in response to that, I think the play is maybe even to lean in a bit heavier on shield and heal. Even though you're going to get destroyed by Mac and Max burn. But you obviously have a really good time against this type of build, this type of weapons, Vanessa. So it really depends on It's a little bit scissors, paper, rocky, but then kind of so are most metas in games like this. There's not too much escaping it, and it's not too bad. Bug. Slow bug that charges off poison bug. Not interested. Let's have a look here. Interested.
Whoever said money can't buy class had neither.
We don't burn, but you burn. Don't think it's really worth it. Finally, a poisoner.
You're a smart one for your size.
Who we'll put into the mix. Sure. That'll do for now. Can't afford to always go to the shops whilst our economy's not in a great spot. So, Hellbilly is a scaler, but I'd be relatively confident that we outscale Hellbilly. We have barrel scaling, we have seaweed scaling, we have poison now. I think we should be okay.
I can play you the Ganjo, or I can play you the knife. Your choice.
Have you always had a diamond scrap, brother? I don't remember that. We take the diamond scrap, we take the textiles, we take the Ganjo. Not interested in your weapon or skill. Medkit, I'd settle for. I say as if this is a negotiation process. So yeah, I think we're looking fine here. They're healing for an awful lot, but that will be diminished as the sandstorm cuts down their shield. So we're fine. So yeah, this kind of pacifist build, albeit with a little bit of poison thrown in, is quite well placed in the early game at the moment. Scrap for our pearl, which is getting a bit chunky. Not interested in transforming, not really interested in curio either, but it's the best of a bad bunch.
Just a matter of finding it.
Let's increase our slow.
Part to clean up the bazaar.
Dock lines is just good. That's all there is to it. Increase our haste. It's actually been a pretty good curio, all things considered. Not too interested in anything else.
Full sail, my boy.
Great burn skills. Not much else though. Great weapon skills, not much else. Bloodhound is something.
I'll send you to Orlin.
Maybe helps, oddly enough, kind of helps us defensively in the sandstorm. As both of us are going down in the sandstorm, we proc Bloodhound, which helps our defensive items. Maybe cope, but it's something. Upgrade barrel. I assume you give us enchanted piranhas, which is kind of cool. Still don't think we play them though. I'd love to get a full board piranha type build going on, but now is not the time. So this is the problem with our build. We played scissors, paper, rock and we lost. Because any poison, which it is a guaranteed loss pretty much. Nothing we can do about it. Especially Nightshade's just a really strong item. Oof. They don't have a way to reload, but I don't think they're going to need to with the amount of damage they're going to be piling on here. Our shield is worthless. They have heaps of regen, so we just kind of sit and slowly die. Unless we can eke out a win the sandstorm. Don't think so. We're going to need seaweed to pop again, which it does. Don't think it's going to be enough still, sadly. It's close, but not quite. Oh, it is! Seaweed popped again. Wow. I'm amazed we managed to survive 160 poison with such a low amount of HP this early on. I'm amazed we managed to survive that. We lost scissors, paper, rock and still managed to win.
Delightful to see you.
Let's try to leverage that into a good run. Shark Ray can be great, not here though. Pick up and Clemera upgrade, I thought. Oh no, just 2 separate Clemmerers. Because you're the silver shop and nothing else is of too much interest. Definitely petering out a little bit here. Looking for something to save the run. I mean, the poison is doing very little. We're winning through the sandstorm anyway. Our beach ball is also not very good though. Maybe we play like that then. Even though we increase the beach ball's haste, it's still pretty underwhelming. And let's not fight you. Let's fight you.
Swarm, sting, rage.
Don't even really know what we're aiming for. This kind of traditional aquatic build is not in a good place, I don't think. Normally you'd kind of be looking for puffer fish, water wheel, but that build seems to have very heavily fallen out of the meta through a combination of the rise of Mac and the nerf to poison skills. Sure, there's still a way of making it work, especially with Shipwreck now. Ideally want a build that lets me keep my restorative pearl, which I'm very attached to.
For you. Swarm, sting forever.
Busy bee. Certainly seen bee builds that can work, but we won't be building that. Don't have any money to play with really, and not looking to... I guess we could have added 1 poison to the fish, but I don't think it's worth it. Now, you're an interesting chap. You're a very interesting chap. I think we pivot into a flagship build. So we have ammo, we have everything other than property, which is usually the hardest one to get. Unless you get a crow's nest, of course. And then this looks pretty good. We still have pretty decent survivability over here to the right. Bit of slow. The poison isn't doing much, but we need the friend. And then dive weights is just a fantastic supporter for flagship. Shame we didn't get the monkey. This would have been a great opportunity to play the monkey. But I think this looks pretty right to me. Let's take a look at small items. We would love I was about to say silencer. That was exactly what we would love. So we can't get rid of our friend, but we can get rid of the Clemmerer and play it like this. Yep, pretty happy with this. So we're now looking for some type of property. Ideally crow's nest. Ways to buff its damage. Bloodhound is nice. Ways to give it haste. Got a bit of cash we can sell out. Pretty happy with that. Crit chance would be nice.
I may be young.
I feel like we haven't... I guess we sacrificed barrel, which is our scaling survivability. But ideally we shouldn't need scaling survivability because we now should be able to finish the fights before we get to the sandstorm. This will be a test because it's a pretty defensive-minded pig. But yeah, even without the crit and without any buffs, it's getting in there. It's definitely getting in there, the flagship. And we still have a bit of scaling defense with seaweed. Plus restorative pearl is just so strong at keeping us in the game here. So this is a pretty great pivot. Pretty happy with this, if I don't say so myself. Not that it was a particularly difficult decision to make, but it's always nice when you make a pivot and it pays off immediately. And I think this type of build certainly has higher prospects long term as opposed to what we were rocking before. You're a tool in the nicest possible way, but we're not interested. And let's clear out some of this garbage that we won't be using. Not interested in weapons. I'm just going to take their 1 XP, as low impact as that is. You're a property, and you're a haster. I think we get you in the team. So we can get rid of dock lines, even though great item. Are we going to be able to afford it? We'll have to sell our ambergris, which is fine. And then we're also going to need to get rid of our seaweed, which is what it is. Unless we wanted to get rid of clam, but clam has a bit of synergy with, or pearl I should say, has a bit of synergy with water wheel. So I think this is the play. Now it's 5 multicast. We could put in seaweed for further survivability, but I prefer trying to get the charge on the water wheel going. This to me looks like the play, except you want to be next to 2 aquatics like that. This looks right. Yeah, interesting board. Watch us see a crow's nest here and have to immediately pivot away. Thankfully we did not. And catfish has a bit of synergy with what we're rocking here as well. But we would like some upgrades. The damage is on the low side for the flagship at the moment. Don't think we take the Infernal. I think we probably take the Zookeeper. Yeah. Would like to see an upgrade for Silencer for cooldown, an upgrade for Flagship for damage, or another way of putting damage on it. If we see a monkey in the shop, it'll be hard to pass up, to be honest. Even though it's super late to get a scaler like that. And if we see a crow's nest, you could probably make a pretty strong argument for dumping the water wheel, but for the time being, it'll do.
Now this is how you win a war.
So we upgrade, I think, Silencer for the increased CDR,
Now
and it gives a bit of
this
damage as well.
will inspire the crew.
Let's just have a look at
Come on in.
items.
Let's chat.
So we're not set on one weapon because we don't have Crow's Nest, but none of these are worth running alongside our friend, and neither are any of these.
Don't buy, as long as we get to hang out.
Let's just take the Sharpening Stone because it's easier than going to Curious, which requires thinking and clicking. Likely a Bug Dually because everyone's playing Bug Dually. How does this build go against Bug Dually?
But if you insist,
Probably poorly. You probably need the lifesteal for sustain. What is this skill? Oh, yuck. It's bug Julie. They've gone all in. Creative build, my friend. Maybe we match up okay. Can they not freeze large items? No, they can. I think we just got a bit lucky with the freezers there, maybe. So I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling a bit of bitterness towards Bug Dually, to be honest, with how much it's on the ladder and how little variety there is in the builds, and that it's kind of just putting together the build that Tempo clearly kind of had in mind. There's not much creativity there, but that's just unhelpful bitterness, isn't it? So I'll try to keep that to a minimum.
Bodies are just containers for it.
Health and shield. Let's just take a small tool. That's a good one. I think we can beat Chili Charles. Did I say that correctly, that Gear Nola Bar is not a food or a tool? Surely it should be at least one of them. These are the big questions. Chili Charles is annoying with the buff to Igloo. This flagship is doing work and is great for sticking an enchant on, and is perma-hasted thanks to Water Wheel now. So we're in a pretty good spot. Captain's Wheel can do a similar job to Water Wheel, but it isn't a property. So I think unless we find a Crow's Nest, Water Wheel's probably sticking around.
rally men, blades to the wind.
Let's have a look at your gold skills.
They don't come from me. Your lessons will find you.
Just delay making a decision. Charging burn item, I mean, if we get in a burn enchant on the flagship, becomes amazing. We'd have to get rid of Pearl, and we gain an enormous amount of damage. That almost has to be worth it, I think.
Coin goes back to our community.
As annoying as that is,
Sphinxians, thank you.
we take a bit longer to get off the ground. We don't have the same survivability, but we hit hard. Tough call.
Come with
I think that was right, though.
Leave with big bargains.
Don't give ourselves much flexibility here. This is a great item, but we can't work with what we're doing. Because we're pretty locked into the board here.
Being fully present with me.
No bronze to upgrade. Only flagship, unlikely. Large items are more likely because there's fewer of them. This is new. Sea Dog Saloon. It is a property. Multicast per friend, so it's part of the friend build. I imagine that could get quite strong with the friend build maybe. Maybe it's strong enough to justify running this friend selection, but it's not what we're looking for here. There's also just easier ways of getting haste than that. Here's the crow's nest. How much do we care about haste on you? We can't run water wheel and crow's nest. The lifesteal is just too good, I think. I think it just will keep you in the bag in case this goes horribly wrong. But I think it just has to be, crow's nest, unfortunately, because it's a bit less unique. But the lifesteal is so important, especially having lost the sustain from Pearl. And Pearl also reduces the effectiveness of the water wheel. Shark Ray Haster. Yeah, we're just going to hit so hard here. Whoa, so are they. What happened there? We win, but that was crazy. They just went nuts. I guess it was crashing waves, hasting absolutely everything. The shark going nuts. But yeah, we're strong enough to win still. For the time being, we want to keep our board at 5 items to benefit from heavy firepower. I think you're definitely gone because the crow's nest is just better. You can hang around for the time being. And we go gumballs, I think, seeing as there's really not much room for us to improve our board short of finding matches. Whoa, those gumballs. That was pretty incredible. Let's have a look for larges because we have your good, your property. I think we prefer crow's nest. No matches is unfortunate. What are you? Aquatic property. You haste a vehicle, which we like. Charge a tool, which is fine. Reload a tool. Reload an ammo item, which is fine. And a weapon item gains damage. So you kind of do a little bit of everything, which in the Bazaar is not good. You will really want to be specializing. It's quite fast. So it'd keep haste on flagship quite nicely. With some charging. I don't think it works with what we're doing.
Heavy? They tell me it's a problem.
I don't think we beat Dragon. I think we beat the frigate. So we'll take the frigate. Cooldown reduction is tempting, but let's take the little bit of extra cash. It's also a good item here. Yeah, so we're getting... Oh yes, Bloodhound, of course, is how we're getting charged. So that's a really strong skill with what we're doing. Because we don't have enough... That's good to get the skill. We don't have enough power for the first volley to do it. But Bloodhound gets us to the second volley. Let's just take Gunpowder for our dive weights. It's a nice bit of improvement there. Amazing how much our damage drops just by including one item. Let's have a look for a silencer.
Just taking the first step toward good taste.
For the sake of 4, sure.
I mean, excellent choice.
I think we prefer the damage over the amulet, the crit chance from the amulet. So nothing here is worth considering. Let's have a look at skills. We can afford it. You would be great. You're even better though. Well, I mean, 25 damage would be nice, but we can afford Bloodhound without selling anything, so the upgrade to Bloodhound's really nice. Relatively... Guessing this person might be new to the game. Watch me get bugged by Bug Dooley. Yeah, they're playing too many bugs to deserve any pity. In fact, this is pretty much a meta build, I think. Although Fiber Optics seems to have fallen out of occasion a bit, and you don't see Weaponized Core too much. But yeah, they're obviously not in a great place. In this run of the Bazaar. I'm sure in their life they're doing great. So we're looking pretty good here. Just the enchanted item chilling in the backpack doing nothing, unlikely to ever make it onto the board. It's a good get. In fact, it's gone. Thank you for your service. Dock lines are great, but I'd prefer to... Dive weights has to stay. It's functioning as our tool and ammo item. Let's gain the XP. Level 10 enchant. It's boring, but I think putting this on flagship is right as we go into the later game. Going to increasingly see slow and freeze builds. Can probably take them both. Maybe Death Knight gives us a bit of a hard time, actually. Does come down to timing a bit. I think having already hit level 10, let's try our luck here. This could go either way. So yeah, the cannot be frozen, slowed or destroyed is nowhere near as exciting as doubling its damage or something insane. But I think I'll take it over... Ooh, that hurt. I think I'll take it over a random enchant. And it scales very well into the late game when disruption becomes all the more common, especially as we have relatively few active items. So, albeit not an exciting enchant, it's a very good one. There were some great skills we could have got there. We did not, unfortunately. So, Runic Great Axe, your lifesteal weapons have a 100% crit chance is obviously cool, but we can't make that work, unfortunately, for a number of reasons. But a cool weapon nonetheless. We have some great skills to upgrade. Charging 4 seconds whenever they go below half health, which probably happens from the first volley, hopefully, and then we almost immediately go off again. It's pretty juicy skill. You don't often see Diamond Bloodhound. Hopefully for the red and blue, still a pretty good assortment of gumballs there. No complaints here. Why is your... Oh, because we put a gumball on the field. And let's have a look. I would love a skill to buff your damage. And seeing as we don't have a reroll, we'll go with a high probability of picking up something here. 12 damage is better than nothing. We're not hastening you other than dive weights. I think we'll take... You buy a weapon increase. Yeah, we don't have any econ, so let's just take submerged. That damage multiplies by 5, which is great. We're in a pretty decent position here, I think. We don't want to lose more than maybe one fight, because we don't want to go too late with this build. But for the day we're at, we're pretty strong. And this is where the Radiant Enchantment comes in incredibly clutch. I'd go as... Oh, we don't quite get them down to half health, actually, which really hurts. But we do now, and then we charge and go again and get them. Lovely. So I think there's no chance we beat that without Radiant. So that's the Radiant Enchant doing work there. Plus it looks pretty. I think next upgrade probably goes on the flagship for damage. Or maybe it's still the silencer for CDR. Not really sure what I was looking for there. Probably should have looked at the other options. Didn't realize I was that broke. Sharpening stone is great, especially a gold one. Law of the Waste is a bit of a gimme. Watch me lose now. Pendulum is one of those items you just find a way to make it work if you manage to get it. So yeah, the extra charge, the extra volley we get pretty much for free from Bloodhound is incredible. Turns what's usually a relatively slow item into a bit of a machine gun.
This is how you win a war.
That can work, but not today. That's a terrible loot item. It's just... I'm sure there's some toys that might help, but... I think we just take... I think we actually pay for chocolate bars, because there's not too much we're looking to do with our money here. And health is nice. And let's get a bit of extra money here. And let's get gumballs. Funny playing the whole way through with one spare space on my board, but it's completely the right call for heavy firepower. Still good gumballs. We've been blessed by the gumball lord for sure. This is a pretty brutal flagship. Only 53% crit, which is lower than where you'd want it to be at the moment.
I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
But it's been pretty smooth sailing so far, quite literally. This barrel's nasty. But we get our lifesteal in just in time, although we don't get them quite down to where we want them to be. Now we do, now we charge, now the volley goes off again and we get there. Beautiful. 9 wins, this is more like it. Love this new Vanessa pack, it's made all the difference. I've barely seen, I think I've seen one item in shops and haven't even come close to purchasing any. But it's done the trick clearly, unlocking it. Small and medium is how we could potentially pick up a silencer.
It's terrifying.
It's an amazing item with this build. Is it worth... I mean, we can't afford it. Why am I even thinking about it?
And then sell it to me.
Can't even come close to affording it. CDR is just too strong. And you can see the power of the Radiant Enchant is a full work here. I think this is where you'd normally be running into pretty severe disruption that can really hurt this type of build, but the Radiant Enchant is doing an amazing job, and it's probably in fact doing a better job than pretty much any other enchant would be doing at this stage of the game.
The Outlander way is truth. Someday you will see.
Dive weight's certainly a huge buff to flagship when they came into the game, being able to function as both ammo and tool and provide a bit of helpful haste is fantastic. Let's just go with extra CDR and a bit of extra damage. It might even be more damage than you get from upgrading the ship itself. Took Pearl's dig site looking for something life-changing or more likely something to sell for a decent profit. Shiny piranha generator. Amazing. I'm going to take that and look at transforming it if we ever get to that stage, just because it's funny. Sure, there's lots of nice shiny medium items that would be very helpful. Imagine getting something like this early on and just generating a whole swarm of shiny piranhas. So it'd be great to pick up our 10 piece right here and now,
Out to dethrone a king.
rather than having to deal with some of the nonsense that starts coming in the later days. Glass cannon. See, they need to get me down before Radiant Flagship goes off, I think, or they're going to be in a very bad way. Yeah, not quick enough, I'm afraid, my friend. You live by the glass cannon, die by the glass cannon. I can see the argument. You get to the point where your Langjon's firing and you're pretty much guaranteed winning, but you did not want to see my build. And there you go. Perhaps the smoothest 10 piece you'll ever see. Radiant Flagship, really, really strong as it turns out. A shorter video, but hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. It helps out a great deal. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.